Okay, so we're back once again for June 2024. Another month is done. More media is completed. Um, we're probably going to keep it short. For this month. The video, I mean. So we don't have that many. So I think we can just. Oh wait a fucking minute. No, this is right. Never mind. I thought for a minute that I hadn't included seasonals, but I have. So nothing bad about it. Okay, you can just start. So the first one that I have here, Idolish 7. Idolish 7 was recommended to me. I think I tried a male idol anime a few months ago, or maybe just 1 month ago actually. And then I said, oh yeah, I tried the Bang Dream male idol like spin-off or counterpart or whatever. And then I said, why are male idol shows always so boring? Because the guys aren't able to be as goofy or as silly or as exaggerated as the girls. Because basically when you get to, I mean, the guys in male idol shows basically only have two possible modes. Either the cool guy, or they're cute, boyish. And also basically, I think you can see it here. You see here, yeah, this is a boyish guy, this is a boyish guy. But, that he has to be cool, he has to be cool, he has to be, so those are the only two possible ones. With girls, you get a much wider variety, because basically anything can be cute, right? It's not as, restrictive. So I often felt that male anime don't really get to do as much. Then someone recommended to me Advent 7, and I already said, that's already on my list, because Advent 7 is known to be like the best male idol anime, and I see it, I suppose. I have two fundamental issues with Advent 7. The first issue is that it's still not goofy enough. It's not funny enough. It's not like it's not. Love Live is one of those. It's so fun. It's fun and funny, and it's zany, and it's quirky, and it's goofy, and it's not afraid to get incredibly silly. This one doesn't get to be that silly, so it's not really funny. It's not a comedy for me, which means that the only other aspect of it that I have to find interesting is the professional aspect, or like the drama or like stuff like that, and it's fine. I suppose it's fine. It does the drama and the professional side of like the industry and the career fine, but I already don't find that subject very interesting. So I suppose this is better. I can actually hear myself now. So I suppose I just had difficulty getting into it. But it was fine. Fine. But yeah, the issue, it wasn't funny enough, or like goofy or entertaining enough. So you have to rely on it as like a semi-interesting depiction of the industry, which it did okay at. It's fine, I don't have any issue with it, but I also didn't find anything particularly memorable about it. So it's a very, very neutral thing. I know there are like 1,500 seasons of this. I won't be watching anymore. So that's it for me. Oh, where do we put it? See, just think, we should probably have more tiers maybe for next month, but see in comparison to the rest, I think, yeah. This one is D4DJ First Mix. So this is apparently a show that the same studio and the production committee Bushiroad behind, well, Bushiroad is actually behind Love Live, but as well, but this is the studio which is behind Bang Dream. So Bushiroad has done an idol show, they've done a band show, so now we should do a DJ show. It was really bad actually. Not terrible, but first of all, it looks hideous. Look at this girl here. The green, and it's not even a full green. It's like, because you see there's green here, and there's another shade of green there. She looks like she's not. It looks like a swamp. Her hair. She's incredible. This is the main character. She's the basic archetype that the protagonist usually is. Very bubbly, very high energy, very let's do this. Incredibly obnoxious. I found her. There's really nothing. I actually found her pretty nice personality wise, but it was just annoying. I thought it was aesthetically. I think it's a pain. Like, it's difficult to look at. I don't think the DJ music was any good. I'm not inherently against DJ music, but it's not my favorite genre. But even here, it wasn't even good. I don't think the characters were anything good either. Again, it looks serious. I just it was difficult to watch. So yeah, I'm not gonna watch any more seasons. It seems to not have done that well anyway. So that's a D. It was bad. It was pretty bad. See, we're moving at speed. We're doing this quickly. Fuck. Now I realize these should be in portrait mode. Can I just change it? Oh, I can. Look at that. We're so smart. This is the windbreaker. Right. Windbreaker. Okay. Okay. It's very simple. It's very straightforward and kind of rough. Very bare bones, to be honest. There were some character resolutions and character drama that it just didn't hit because it was like so surface level. I remember it was usually they don't play it up too much, but it was a particular episode where they had this big insert song like to the conclusion that was supposed to get more emotional, and I'm like, oh, yeah, you haven't done that. Otherwise, it's fun though. I like the boys; they're cute. They're have nice little dynamics with each other. A lot of bickering. So it's a fun show, and it looks good, of course. Cloverworks animated it. Just yeah, the dramatics don't really hold up. It's not a show that necessarily tries to be deep, but sometimes it falls a bit flat when it tries to get into something outside of its depth. So that's what I felt there. Also, this is a minor nitpick, I suppose, but it's this kind of tournament where there's 5 people from their school and 5 people from the other school, and the other school is presented as this actual threat. And then, because I guess we can't have any of our protagonists lose, they win every single fight. So at some point, and because of how it's set up structurally to determine like the victor, it just didn't. There was no like dramatics in who would win. Like, I suppose nobody just. I mean, it was obvious that our heroes were going to win in the end anyway. But it would be nice if at least one of them lost. And that could be a personal loss. And it could be personal to them, but we didn't get that. Every single one of them won. Relatively easy, too. In the end, it was fairly easy. So it's a very low-hanging fruit kind of show. But I think it got charm, it's got personality. I had fun. I'm not going to check out season 2. Maybe I'll check out the manga if I'm like bored and I have nothing else to read. It would be a good time, so nothing bad about that. But yeah, no. We can put it in. We can put it in C. It's not bad. Persona. I watched this one a few days ago. What the fuck? Overall, though, it's a film that doesn't quite work for me, I suppose. I'm not too fond of these abstract films. Just the type of storytelling doesn't really appeal to me. And it keeps everything very vague. It's a movie that it's very easy to. I read up about it, and then people, even the director, said, "Oh, but this is a movie that you should be able to interpret on your own. You should be able to come to your own interpretation. It's open ended. It's blah 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 blah." I don't like these movies because I feel like often when movies are open to interpretation and could be anything you like, then it's basically vague. That's what it is. But it's interesting. It's well done. I'm not quite 100% sure about the beach scene. She describes having sex with a young boy, and then I was reading up about on Reddit and Wikipedia and other discussion forums, and they say, oh yeah, but it was a different time back then. He might have been like 16, 18 something. And I was like, but she didn't say like young. She said very young, like scarily young, like extremely young. Like she really, really highlighted it. To me, that's screamed like 10 years old. Either way, it's the rape of a child. Characters can do despicable things, of course, and she is confessing this to another part of herself. I don't know. Some parts of the movie, I'm just not quite sure what those things mean, but I think I get the overall point. It's an interesting experiment. It's a bit too abstract and vague for me personally, but I appreciate the ambition. It's an interesting experiment, but I can't say it did much for me personally. I'll probably put it in C. Are we gonna get an S? Anyway, we might not, to be honest. Sometimes we just don't. Umamusume Pretty Derby Season 1 is this. Just generic, mediocre. I found nothing interesting in this. I've heard, though I'm very skeptical that I'll agree, that Season 2 and onwards is great. Like a huge jump in quality. And I'll try it. So we'll see. But yeah, no. For those of you, who don't know, this is like a racing girls show. As in horse girls. Horse girls. Girls who are horses. Or like, they're horses in the sense that some have they have horse ears, kind of. And then they have like tail. And they can run really fast. So they competitive running, but with horse characteristics. So they're horse girls. I'll say that I appreciate the anime and manga, I suppose, is the only medium that could ever do this. There's a lot of creative freedom, specifically with manga, because in anime it's very much what can get funded and whatever. So manga is probably the most creative medium on the planet, but it very much overlaps with anime. So yeah, you can't get this stuff anywhere else. But I found it mediocre. So we'll see. We'll put it in D. But we'll see where I find it. Season 2 and onwards. I'm interested. This was Locodol. Pretty terrible all around. And not awful. Sometimes it could be like if it's just engaging with the ruralness of the town or whatever. And it's fine. They're not professional idols. They're idols in the sense that they're supposed to bring some tourism to the town that's suffering because of the lack of tourism, because there's so few people live there. But I don't know. The first episode had them perform in bikinis on stage at this public pool. And they wasn't even drawn sexily. I think if you're gonna have fan service, then you should have it look sexy. This is an issue I had with Railgun, or more specifically Index. I mean, the girls are very young there too, of course, which I would prefer them not to be sexualized even if they're drawn. But if they were going to be sexualized, then you can have them have there's an issue I think when fan service shows don't have character designs that actually aid to the fan service. So you fan service, so you put you have some fan service, but then the character designs aren't actually sexually attractive. I felt that here. The rest of it is very bare bones, very feels very lazy and corporate, even though it doesn't seem like a show that actually aimed that high. It all just feels very lazy. It wasn't good. Not terrible. Sometimes the just episodes is kind of chill in the rural town, but yeah, no, just not good. Doctor Who. Yeah, wow. This was wow. This is a new season. Season 1, the 2024 series. Reboot? Soft reboot. Basically just picks up where we left off, but it's supposed to be newbie friendly. So anyone can hop on. And I think it is. It's not as newbie friendly as the 2005 reboot. I guess in 20 years again, when Russell T. Davies is 90, he'll pop up again to reboot the show once again. Yeah, no. It's good. It is overall good. I have some quibbles with it. I do. I think cutting it down to 8 episodes hurts it a lot. It kind of hurts it terribly, actually. We used to have 13 episodes, and then I think with Capaldi's era, we shortened it down to 12, and then with Shiblon to 10, and now to 8. And it's geez, that's a lot we're cutting that down on. It's not really Doctor Who reflective. It's just the general TV landscape is like this now. Most shows are only 8 episodes. It sucks. Especially because Doctor Who's episodes aren't even an hour long or something. Or an hour plus as some shows are. I'm thinking Stranger Things. But it's just it's 45 episodes. Or 45 minutes per episode. So it's very short. So that falls off. People have been complaining that we got 2 Doctor Light episodes. Doctor Light episodes are episodes where the Doctor doesn't appear much. In the previous shows or seasons, they used to have an episode like that because the Doctor couldn't do. I mean, it was such intensive filming to do 13 episodes a year. At least that's what they aimed for. So they gave one episode where the Doctor wasn't really in much, maybe just on the companion or like on another group of side characters, so that the actor could rest. So I get that there have been complaints that we basically got 2 Doctor Light episodes. We got one which was actually I think there should be 1 Doctor Light episode. I don't think there's a structure we should abandon. I think it makes for some really creative episodes, and I think it gives the spotlight to the companion to actually get to do something without the Doctor. So I don't think we should abandon that. I think that's good. There were other people complaining they've actually got another Doctor Light episode with Dot and Bubble. I wouldn't really agree with any of the criticisms for that one, because the Doctor is in it. He's not like in the action. He's sort of in the background, but he's constantly there and talking to our surrogate protagonist. And it worked so great for the story. So I really don't think it's an issue when the story is great and he is actually there, pretty constantly talking actually. So we get stuff from him. So I really have no issue with the Doctor Light episodes, and if this 8 episode structure affected that somehow. But my issue is more so that we don't actually get enough to really flesh out Ruby and the Doctor's relationship. They're immediately best friend. Their first real adventure, and he gives her the TARDIS key. Like, without any effort. Like, she hasn't earned it. Or like there's been no growth. Like, they're besties forever. They never disagree. There are never any conflicts. They don't challenge each other. It's just besties and giggle a lot. Don't get me wrong. I love them in the sense that Shooty and Millie are adorable together. I think they have wonderful chemistry. But just them in the finale, when there's supposed to be this emotional sort of temporary separation between them, I don't really feel it because there hasn't actually been much writing. Neither of them really had any arcs. Ruby especially has not had any character development whatsoever. But they're lovely personality-wise and chemistry, so they're very cute. I just wish there was more substance there. So I think the episode. Also, I didn't like the finale, but we can take that as we go. I think we should walk through each episode just very, very quickly with 30 minutes, 30 seconds per episode. So the first one is the Christmas special, The Church of Ruby Road. This one is good. It's good. I did feel at the beginning there was too much focus on Ruby's locations. Like, she was at a party, then she was with her friends, and the Doctor hadn't really appeared yet. And I was feeling like this doesn't really feel like Doctor Who. This feels like some drama, I guess, LGBT drama or whatever. It felt like a show, one of Russell T Davies' other shows that he might have done. But I look back on it quite favorably now. And I think the rest of the seasons felt very much like Doctor Who, so there was no issue. It's just it was a real life setting for a bit longer than usual, so it felt a bit different. That's all. Very good Christmas special. Not great, but good, solid. Space Babies, I don't think it's the worst episode. I think it's the second worst. I like Space Babies, to be honest, and I like it a lot. It is an odd choice to introduce the new season with, if we don't count like the Christmas special that starts it off. I don't know why they did that. It's a very odd pick. It's a very silly episode. Space Babies. Babies in space. Babies in space who run a baby farm. And then the monster is a monster made of snot, and it is defeated by a giant space fart. That's it. It's not. I like it. I think it's silly. It's silly in a way that Russell T Davies did in, like, when he opened series 2. So, it's very. I like it a lot actually because of his energy. It's very high tempo, very back and forth quips, and they're adorable. Shooty and Millie. It's a very low bar episode, but I like it. The Devil's Court is the one I actually have issue with, because I felt like the individual scenes were going on for too long. And at the same time, I felt like we were hitting a lot of different ideas, but we were never really grappling with them, like digging into them. Like, it was supposed to be like the Beatles historical episode, but then we didn't really talk to the Beatles that much. And it was supposed to be a musical episode, but then we got one musical number at the end. Amazing musical number. I love it. I listen to it every day. But still, if you were gonna do any sort of musical episode, just do a full-on musical episode. I would love that. It would have been a 10 out of 10 for me if it was. I love the silly lyrics too. When you just repeat it, there's always a twist at the end because that's the joke. The characters miss the twist, even though they keep singing it. But I love that ending so much. Entire music, everything before that is, yeah, no, not great, kind of boring. Um, Boom, Boom is probably Boom's good, but it's a weak offered entry. Some interesting thematic ideas that it hits upon there, but I figured Ruby was out of the action a bit too long. And I felt like it didn't really make that much sense that the soldiers like. I mean, if they die, if they were fighting in an imaginary war, then wouldn't they realize that they were fighting someone, that they weren't fighting anyone? You know, I think maybe a better conflict would have been if they were tricked to like fight someone else, but an actual person, or like country or whatever. Show how religion twists that or whatever. And then I also thought it was a bit of a Deus Ex Machina with the power of love defeats the robots, even though, I mean, haven't any other person who died by the robots loved someone? Why couldn't they have done it? It's a bit weak. Yeah, but it's good. It's good. There's plenty of goodies in it. Dialogue is super strong because, of course, it's Moffat. And I like most of the hits thematically. It's a good episode. But it's just weak compared to basically everything else that Moffat has written. Number 73 yards. 73 yards is the episode with Ruby is barely in it. Oh, no, sorry, the Doctor's barely in it. It's Ruby's big episode. I like it in terms of vibes, in terms of like. Yeah, in vibes. It's a very spooky episode, but it doesn't really. You can't really make sense of it. And I don't think Ruby really grows throughout it, or like learns anything, or like develops. So it's like it's a cool one-off thing, but I don't think it really does much more than that. Dawn and Bubble, however, the next episode is the best episode of this series. I think it's one of the best episodes in the entire show. You know, tricks us into thinking it's going to be about social media, but then it's actually about white supremacy, echo chambers, and colonialism, and you know, lots of great stuff. I think it's fantastic. One of the few times in Doctor Who memory actually where the entire episode is elevated so much by the ending. Fantastic. Easily the standouts. I also really like Rogue, the next episode. It was cute. It was cute and fun, and it was just fun. It was really, really fun. And I'm happy that we got like a classic sort of Doctor Who story. Then the finale was kind of whatever. I don't really, I don't really like it. I agree with most of the critiques that the mystery was kind of poor. I like technically the solution or like the answer on paper, but then it contradicts all the build up because it was presented as this, so there was no possible way that the audience could have solved it because it doesn't make sense. And I also think it's kind of reactionary for Ruby without any real particular reason to be so obsessed with her birth parents. I get that you might be obsessed with your birth parents, I think that's really important to you, but then you gotta show why it's important to you specifically, not just assume, well, all adopted kids would want to find their parents naturally. It's nothing specific inherent to her, you know, it's just inherent. I think it's a bit reactionary, especially how she kept emphasizing, that's my real mom, when her actual, like, foster mom was right there. And then she was invited that too, and it's like, I think some authors need some family abolition in their repertoire, because I think her just wanting to find her family because doesn't really constitute as a strong enough motivation. But such fun, very strong consistency in terms of story qualities. It's the main arc suffers, but you know, it's like Series 6, sometimes that happens. I'd give it an A. The main, like the core stuff is weak in that the overarching story and the main relationship, but then everything that holds it all together, the acting, their chemistry, and that a lot of the episodes don't really have that much to do with the central mystery anyway, and they're great. So it's strong, but it's not great. It's not top high. I don't see season 2 fixing it. Well, to be honest, I really like this one either way, so I'll be happy with anything. Anything else? Kimi no Todoke. Kimi no Todoke, I watched season 1. It was okay. It was kind of boring, actually. She's just kind of demure and pure and sweet and innocent all the time. And this guy is also, like, no faults whatsoever, the perfect guy. It makes it boring. Especially at a point where I was feeling there by the end, like, there is no reason for them to, like, not be together. They both so clearly like each other. There's no real issue, like, keeping them apart. They're both grown enough, too. So I was, yeah. It just kind of felt like they were extending it for the sake of it. And then there's no real conflict between them, really. And it was just boring. I started watching season 2. And there's a scene in, like, the middle, I think. Middle of the season, where he flat out admits to her that I like her romantically. Like, and then she says, "Oh no, but he probably didn't mean it like that." And I said, "Oh, fucking hell." I mean, if he says straight up, he used to us, "I like her." And in a context, he didn't say "I like her romantically," but in a context where the question asked him, the person who asked him the question, asked him with obvious romantic implication, because that's what the overall conversation was about. And she's still, "Oh, well, I'm sure he didn't mean like that." And it's like, fuck it, you know. That sucks. But I don't have season 2 here because I didn't finish it. But yeah, pretty bad. I'd put it in. When I put it in D, when. Yeah, I put it in D. I put it in D. I put it in D. Oh, this one was fucking awful. That is the worst thing I've ever seen. No, it's not. But it's very, very low. Because actually, let's open Twitter. Let's open Twitter. Here we go. We should, because I've tweeted about these shows, we should just check what I've said. I've said, yeah, if my favorite pop idol made it to the Budokan, I would die was horrible all around. Presents absolutely disastrous dual parasocial relationships that has nothing to absolve it, glorifies the idol industry completely, and is overall incredibly obnoxious, so bad it's offensive. It's horrible, really. It's about this idol and then the fan of the idol, and she's like obsessed with her in a really obnoxious, loud, and squeaky way. And then she's still obsessed with her in the end, and like it's like, oh, I'm gonna continue to support her. A complete waste of time. Horrible, no message there at all. Terrible stuff. Maybe the worst anime I've seen. Oh, it shouldn't be with these. Kidding me. I'm gonna have to move that one up on. No, I can't. I can add a row below, right? Add a row below. Put it in. Let's see. They put it in green, so put it in that. Got that color yet? Yep, we do. Okay, that's great. There we go. A, B, C, D, E, E. We'll put it there. It's so bad it needs an extra here. That was awful. We all could have an animation. Or empty calories. Just a nothing snack. Empty completely. I thought at least that we would get a good looking anime about some cute waifus. But then the anime kind of looks like crap. The opening looks great. The ending looks great. It must have been handled by a different team or something, because the actual show looks like dog shit. Boring plot. Characters aren't that entertaining or cute or funny even. It's the most bland and boring thing. This one deserves to be here as well, and we'll put this one here. This one isn't technically as bad, but it's a personally hard time watching it. We'll put that there too. Yeah, this is good. Konosuba season 3. Konosuba season 3. I like season 3. I like it as much as I like previous seasons. It's good at what it does. Comedic timing, directing, cute characters. And it's bad at what it usually does. Sexism, sexual assault. Sexual assault presented as comedy, basically. But you know, it's the usual quirks and perks. I don't think it's as bad as people say it is. But it's definitely there, and it, yeah. But, yeah, it's fun. I liked it. I liked it as much as I liked the other ones. do think in terms of comedic timing, it's definitely a strong highlight. Chihayafuru Season 1. I was expecting more for a drama, character drama, than I got, because I basically got like a shonen sports series with some shoujo love triangle. I've heard from people that it gets much better. Like, we're just in the middle here, and especially in season 3, which was like a huge character payoff, so that's great. I was very in love with this show in the beginning, like the first 3 episodes maybe, because of the mood and the music and the directing. It was such a magical feeling to watch it. But it's diminished after all. After that, kind of lost its magic. Basically because of it, it's a standard sports show. That's what it is. I mean, it's nice that this particular sport isn't something that we usually get to see. But, in terms of its conventions and structure and story beats and stuff like that, it's like every other. It's a very well done sports show, but it's a sports show, and it doesn't try to break that mold. I have a hard time with sports shows in particular. It's maybe one of the genres that appealed to me the least. But I thought it was good at what it did, and I think it's something that's going to grow exponentially the more I watch it. So I put it in B. Spice and Wolf. Merchant meets the Wise Wolf. I have no interest in this one. I'm considering dropping it, but now I'm already like halfway through. Might as well just finish. I think it's boring. I don't think the economic stuff, like what it's actually about, is anything interesting. It's boring. It's really boring. I guess Hola's kind of cute. I mean, kind of cute. She is cute, but I don't think a dynamic with the guy, whatever his name was, is cute, or like particularly cute. It was surprisingly not bland, just boring. This isn't a character show. It's a plot show, or like idea show. It's very concerned with its topic and talking about that, and then it just happens to have characters with it. So yeah, I was hoping for character drama, character study, and I just got characters talking about stuff. B. Kaiju 8. Kaiju 8 is like Windbreaker, except with none of the personality or charm. Like any other sports show, and doesn't break the mold at all. Plays very straightforwardly. I can tell every beat that's going to happen before it does. Follows the conventions. Yeah. So I have nothing that interesting to say about it. It's just yeah. Where about I put it? I put it in D. I like Windbreaker more. Train to the End of the World. Train to the End of the World was lovely. The first 8 episodes. I still like it overall. It doesn't really go downhill so much, but the first 8 episodes, they go to. There's this weird thing that happens to the world, and it goes insane and crazy. And then they take the train to go to a particular place, and between the train there are different like stations where they have to stop. And they meet these weird things. In one town is like a zombie town. Another place is living mushrooms, and another it's so varied and so insane and so crazy. That's what it is. It's unbelievably creative. I think it loses the steam a bit because in the end it wants to get to the main like serious plot, and we kind of tone away from the absurdity and just focus on that. And that plays rather straightforwardly and generically, I'd say. I would have loved to see what it could have done with 2 cores. Would have fleshed out the stops in between. Maybe don't actually have like I want to get to my friend. Just have them travel and like have some other destination at the end. But I really do like what we got. So I would I think I put it in A. I will put it in A. Demon Slayer. Hashira training. Jesus fucking Christ, this one. Oh, it's terrible. I mean, so dragged out, so padded. It's unbelievable. It's just so. It's capitalist greed fueling it. It's so corporate. But the last episode kind of hyped me up. Definitely, it could have been 20 minutes instead of 38 or whatever it was. But it got me really hyped up by the end, to be honest. So I'm very much looking forward to the movies, even if I did not care for this season. But on the board, I put it in E. Princess Connect Redive. Let me drink some water. I hate doing these videos because I get headaches. Let's see. Princess Connect Redive. Funnily enough, this is why I talk about the synchronicities they have in the anime that I pick. This is directed by the Konosuba director. Yeah, I didn't know that. You can tell, I suppose, but it's not nearly as funny at all. Several episodes and there were no real jokes. So that was it basically. It looks great. I wish it was funnier. I wish it had like proper jokes, but it's for the most part it's pretty bland. It's a shame. I was hoping it'd be funny. I watched the Saga episode of season 2. Looks fantastic, but yeah, I was hoping it'd be funnier, but it wasn't. Oh fuck. Actually, we put it there. How many episodes? Oh my god. Jellyfish can't swim in the night. This one started out very promising. But it has a lot of ambitions, including a trans mask canon character. And I like the topics it tries to tackle. I often just felt like it didn't really resolve anything emotionally, or resolve things really, really easily. So I felt like we introduced like a conflict and then we solved it like that without any real like struggle or introspection, actual change, which I think affects the ending a lot. It's too easy. I think when you look at the writer, who is the writer of Tomasaki-kun, you can tell that this was gonna be the quality. But I like a lot of it conceptually. I love it visually. Still does good stuff. Yes, the character writing really would have needed to be stronger to actually back up the conflicts that it creates. I think it stores the conflicts too much just to get some conflict, but it doesn't really fit the characters. Also, there is queer baiting. People say, well, it's an LGBTQ show. Yes, but LGBTQ shows can still have queer debate. Because she kissed her cheek to bring it up once in a comedic fashion, and then never again. So, and then I looked at, I found an Reddit or something, and the author said, someone asked the author, is it a Yuri? And he said, well, you can interpret it however you want. And then, no, it's not. That's what that means. So, fuck off. Good show still. Guess it could have been more. I'll put it in C. Are we gonna get any S actually? Anyway, Fruit Basket, the first season. Fruit Basket, the first season spends too much time on the comedic stuff, which it isn't as strong at. It's fairly good at the dramatic stuff. Sometimes it can feel a bit emotionally broad and manipulative, but for the most part, I think it manages to do pretty well. It ended particularly strong, actually. I don't really have much to say about it. I'm also trying to get through this quickly, but I'm interested to see where it goes. More drama, less comedy would be nice, because the comedy just felt like wasting time, and that's for someone who actually quite enjoy. So it's live shows, but yeah. Where do we put it? We'll put it in C. Selection project. Weak overall as a show, but as an idol show, above average. Perhaps the Doga Kobo is the one working on this. Doga Koba, the studio. So it looks better than most, and it's better than most, but the characters are still kind of thin. And the drama is still a bit artificial and forced, so it's not really that different from other idol anime, but it's better than most, I suppose. A bit better. D. Yozakura Family. This is another one like Spice Wolf from considering dropping it, but since I'm over halfway through, and that's where just finished. Mission Yozakura Family. Just Comedy's It's a slice of life spy thing. I don't find it funny. I don't find it really entertaining, but it's fine, I guess. Yeah. I don't know. I don't really have anything interesting to say about it. I'll put it in D. Go Loose Ranger. This one I did not like. It started initially, it was fairly interesting. But then they spent most of the season fighting with like bad fights in some parking lot. And then it felt like they were kind of going from we must destroy the Rangers to like liberate us from oppression to well we just need to fix the Rangers, take the bad guys away and then maybe it'll be better. Because if we just got away with the oppressive class, then everything would just fall into chaos. And it's like, oh, that's a bad political direction to go in. So I did not fuck with that. It wasn't really disappointing because I didn't have that high hopes from the beginning, but it was definitely interesting at the start. It lost all of that now. It's way more about just fitting in with the Rangers now and getting through the exams and like being a good Ranger than anything else. So yeah, boring. I put it here. Hibike House Euphonium Season 3. Oh, I could check. What did I write about it? Must have been lately, right? Oh yeah, here. Heteronormativity still a plague, but otherwise the further season got back to form dramatically on Power Season 1 again. Yeah. It's you debate. I'll say it. I don't always use you debate, and I think it's a really descriptive term that's like good to use. But this tracks if it's it can't possibly be heterosexual, and yet it is, and yet they empathize, especially in the finale, that Reina is still in love with Taki. She's like, God, get over it. Isn't this like something you should have grown past to like show character development? But no, her growth in the finale is now I'm not bothered if other girls find him attractive too. And when I get as good as my dad at music, then I'll confess to Taki. It might take decades and decades, but I'll do it. That's my big goal in life. My goal doesn't have anything to do with music. It's specifically so I can confess to Taki. And it's like, great. So her life revolves around two main figures in her life. Her dad, who she wants to get as good at, and Taki, who she wants to marry with, I guess. And Kumiko, they didn't mention explicitly, but a tweet pointed out that she had a little batch from Shuichi that she was supposed to take when after graduation if she wanted to date him again. And when she said that, she has it. So they forced her to be heterosexual. It is you debate, and that sucks. That sucks. Also because I think the narrative would have actually been stronger if they were gay and we explore that. And anyone who says, well, the romance is really just the second point, it's really about the music, it's not really the forefront, I think you're homophobic. Maybe not like intentionally, but I think there's a homophobic attitude you have. I think it stems from the heteronormative standards that are drilled into you. And I think it makes you unable to think clearly about this. To still you say, yeah, that sucks, but I like everything else about the show, and it's such a good drama, and so I mean, I'm not saying it has to be a big flaw for you, but you just have to acknowledge it. Not just say, oh, they were always friend to me. It was always platonic. What are you talking about? But it was dramatically, I thought it go back to form. I thought it was as good as season 1. Season 2 and the movie were shaky to me dramatically, but I liked season 1. It's like for what it was, and I like this one for what it was too. Even if I'm shaky on some of the fundamentals, but it doesn't really impact it too much. But I always find the franchise a bit boring. But for what it was, I definitely thought this is as good as Euphonium can get. So I put it in C. Fuck off. I watched this one just because I don't know why I didn't watch it. I really don't have anything to say. We got so little out of it because we're so early in the story that everything is vague. I don't have anything. I really don't have anything. I mean, I didn't care for it, but we basically haven't seen anything, so I can't really. I don't know if I'd like it or not later on. I've heard interesting stuff. I put it in E. Actually, yeah, I know I would. I found the other ones actually have something to offer. This one didn't have anything to me. Zombieland Saga. This is season 1. I like season 1. Funny. Surprisingly canon and good trans representation. It's good. It's funny. I suppose the straightforward idol stuff I like the least. I find that the least interesting. I kind of zone out. But everything with zombies in the comedy, that's all great. I had a fun time. I did. I put it in B. Season 2, I put it in the same. I basically didn't find this much to be any different. Maybe slightly more uneven. Not as consistent, not as high points, but basically around the same. So, yeah. So it's a gorgeous poster, my god. But yeah, no, I like them. I like them both. 3 more shows. Dungeon Meshi. Let's dig into my Twitter. Where are you? Here we go. Dungeon Meshi can be very honest, which made it a bit difficult for me to get into, but it's also very much just the code of paint of the series. It's got lots of interesting world building with wonderful goof ones at the heart of it. Plenty to life and thoughtful. Yep, that's basically how I feel about it. It is very honest in the sense that it's not abhorrent in that it supports the animal agricultural industry. Though obviously that's something the author does. And I get that they're in a dungeon, so they have to survive by eating. But it takes too much pleasure. And I think I've repeated this in my last videos, so I'm gonna keep it short. But it takes too much pleasure in the process of killing these animals and cooking them and eating them. With these are beings who want to live. Yes, the monsters, but you know, that's basically just animals in their world. But yeah. And they eat actual animals too, so. But otherwise, I find everything besides that, that's just a superficial aspect. It can be very heavy sometimes, but sometimes it doesn't pop up, and everything else I actually adore. So hopefully we can steer more towards the deeper stuff here by the end, by season 2. Rather than double down on the food stuff, which should more so just be the initial point that we got into, and then stay as the coat of paint. Hey. Oh, that's one's actually not that good not good enough to be up there. Maybe if we kept up the episodic things, we'll keep it there. Shirobako. Shirobako is one of the shows that I had an interesting. I watched Hyoka back in 2017, 2018, 2017, I think. 2018, either way. So one of those years. I watched the first 6 episodes. I thought it was boring, and I put it on hold. Then I picked it up last year. I watched it. I didn't really feel a big difference in the first 6 episodes, but I definitely found it more interesting and more enjoyable, and I could appreciate them more for what they were. Then by the end, I fell in love with it. It's one of those shows where the more you watch it, the better it gets. Technically, that's true of every show, but some shows they don't actually change that much in quality. You just end up liking them more, the more of itself that it keeps being. Shirobako is one of those shows too. It's actually a show that I watched back in 2018, 2017 too, and dropped for 6 episodes. And I felt the same here. It wasn't dramatically different. But in the second half, I was really realizing, wow, how much I am enjoying this, and how strong and solid it is. I have the movie still. I'm saving it a bit. But I was a bit sad when the show ended. I wasn't crying or anything. But it feels a bit empty now that it's over with us. It's really good. I really like it, honestly. We put it on A. Yeah. Railgun S. So the second season. I like. What do I like? I like the first half, or the first 15 episodes, which is 17 episodes maybe, which is the Sisters arc. It's a serious arc, but it's very good. It's a bit weak. My preferred mode for the series is more slice of life, less serious, and focusing on all the girls. That was a much more serious and only Misaka-centric arc. But it would have been fine because they balanced it out with the second arc, which is very much less serious, much more about the girls. Unfortunately, that arc is kind of bad. Because it's a filler anime original arc, and the Cinderella is annoying little girl with a terminal disease because, of course, that's the laziest and most baity thing you can write. So that's a bit of a shame. When the first arc is really good, but it's not my preferred mode for the series, and then the second arc is my preferred mode for the series, but it's not good. But I like it overall still. It was good overall, definitely. I put it in B. There we go. This is it. E we have here. That's D. That's C. That's B. That's A. There it is as a whole. That's June. Da 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 bam. Ba da ba bam. July is the coming month. It is the only month with really media heavy. Like I'll be watching a lot of stuff, especially with the new season. As my god, the next video will be long. But other than that, I like from August onwards, it's steadily gonna go down. To December, I know some days I don't even have a single episode to watch. I have a schedule, so I can't understand. Yeah, after July, it will decrease. But also we're decreasing with increasingly higher quality shows. Like I'm saving the best, most highly regarded for last. So we're getting a lot of crap out now during summer. But yes, I will see you then. Kiss kiss, love love, suck suck.